Boleskine Community Cares operates within the district of Stratherick and Foyers on the southeastern shore of Loch Ness. Although at some points only 20 miles from Inverness, it also covers a wider area with a scattered population of around 400 homes and 720 people. Because of this, it faces some rural challenges, including the delivery of home care.
My father-in-law is supposed to be getting home care 3 times a day.
Carers aren't willing to come out from Inverness, basically. It's just too far away.
People are having to move into Inverness or to go into care homes and leave their homes, which had probably been in, most of their life with next to their family and friends.
Fear that they might have to leave all their favourite things in their house.
Half an hour, 45 minutes away from Inverness. So if folk have hospital appointments, it can be a bit of an obstruction.
Well, we've actually started caring about 2 years ago now.
I was a local councillor at the time and got together with our local councillor, Margaret Davidson, and that's where it all sort of started taking off.
Approached by John Seacrek, who was area manager for NHS Highland, and he asked me if I could come to a meeting that he had organised to talk to people in the local community and the local councillor, Margaret Davidson, about how we might possibly be able to deliver care in that area, because he was conscious that there were huge numbers of people living in the area who just could not get care of any description.
There was a community meeting in the local village hall, and this one of the things is what was highlighted, the lack of care.
We just basically sat around the table and talked about the issues and how we might resolve it, and we came up with this idea of working in partnership between Highland Home Carers and the community.
With using self-directed support, we're able to put in the care.
Help them to recruit people within that whole locality.
Well, it's actually created jobs. I mean, to start with, there was 2 carers, and now we've got 7 carers.
Think of one particular young woman in the Boleskine area who's come straight from school, and she's got a job in her own community. She's able to live at home. She's getting her SVQ training.
Because we're local, we can be flexible with our care to fit in with them rather than it being so rigid.
Big advantage is that we're starting to be able to deliver care to people living in remote and rural communities who in the past could only dreamed of getting any care in their own home.
Something every week for people to go to. They're very well attended. We have probably about 100 people involved.
It is all revolved around Boleskine Community Care, although some of those things were happening already, but it's just created a bigger picture within the community.
So we've set up a handyman service to help with little tasks that really shouldn't need a tradesman. A transport scheme, and that's a volunteer car scheme, even just to visit somebody who might not be that far away but too far to walk to.
We're still learning as we go along, to be honest.
That it really has to come from the community. It needs
To be community-led, that's the important thing, and you have to have the confidence to just pick up the phone and be brave enough to tackle these things.
Start with volunteers within the community, recognising that there is a need there.
Getting 2 or 3 people together who feel equally passionate.
I think it's very important to stress that we've done this using self-directed support, and probably without that Scottish Government Act having come into place, it would have been very difficult to do.
Using this way of funding, it allows them to make choices and to be as independent as possible. Good communication, you have to have really strong communication, and that's what we have with all of our staff, all of the carers, and with Highland Home Care as well.
It's about trust and about that relationship that has evolved and developed. Can't happen with Highland Home Carers or another provider on their own doing it. We don't go in and do it to a community. It has to be community-led.
You can draw your resources together and then be brave enough.
Some of our carers have known some of the people they care for all their lives, and although that can have some drawbacks, there's more benefits than there are drawbacks.
People can now see that it is possible.
For me, we didn't want to be seen as just a bunch of do-gooders. We wanted, it's professional, we're trained, we're employed, and we wanted to come across as professional.
But the benefits will outweigh you know, all those hours that you've done.
NHS Highland particularly believe in this model and they particularly are seeing it as the route that we need to go down.
I would say just go for it. You know that people are wanting the care, you know there's the need out there, you just got to jump in and do it.